In addition, however, to this really quite onerous job of being undergraduate chair, I had for quite some time on my door a big sign that just said, "It's no," to scare off students. It didn't work. I also made the tactical error when I was approached by Dr. Sutherland this year, would I like to teach technology and society? I jumped at the opportunity, and I'll be frank, and again, off the clock, my good moderator.
The time actually does.
I think it's actually their time anyway, right? So we're okay. I'm having a lovely time doing it. However, that was accepting a course on what we call overload. That in addition to my regular teaching, I was teaching a third class on overload. Then, I had a couple of graduate students who asked if I would be willing to teach an independent study with them this semester. And they were interested in a topic that I hold very dear to my heart, and I said, of course. That's a fourth course on my load for this semester. And then, my esteemed opponent's father, and my dad could kick your dad's butt. While we're on that ride, asked if I would be willing to teach yet another class. And I said yes, I would be very happy to. So right now, in addition to coming before you and feeling really rather inarticulate and gassed at the end of a very busy week, I am teaching 5 classes. I want to be Mr. Cruikshank's father, who is, I think, the only other full-bearded historian in the department.
I already established that he's deviant and the father of a deviant.
Yes, no, fair enough. I'm not above my own deviance. In addition to being undergraduate chair, in addition to teaching a number of classes, in addition to trying to hold together a family of 3 children, in addition to live beings, does this sound like a rational human being? Because as my opponents have so articulately, I must admit, a little bit painfully pointed out and identified, I am indeed a humanist. Who in their right mind would take on more work for the fun of it?
A wannabe scientist.
No. I really don't know where that. I'm going to have to have a word with him tomorrow because I don't think that's quite true. Nevertheless, what I do appreciate, if I am a wannabe scientist, it's on the basis of them being able to engage in real-world problems and understanding the nature of the cosmos around us, rather than let me deconstruct the anti-positional, theoretical, hegemonic, liminal particularity as my cuticle, which isn't there. In my remaining 30 seconds, I have a soft shoe dancing improvisational thing that I would know. I'm going back to my house to drink before I go home at this point.
Okay, this is just kind of a bit of a general conclusion in addition to, I guess, just another summary of what we just said. Don't worry, there won't be any shot. It's very general. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Oh, I was saying to Chris in class that as the vote goes, so will go the grading in 3BB3 this year. But Chris, of course, is off the hook because he's doing his job, and he's doing a fine job.
And as Harrison pointed out,
the argument's full of holes. But they're doing a good job.
But as Harrison pointed out, I am the victim here.
Oh, I don't dispute that for a moment.
Thank you. Thanks for your clear there. Okay, now I know, kind of in the last couple of remarks, our opponents have pointed out something which is pretty obvious. There's not really a lot of hard evidence to back up a lot of what we said here today. And that's probably true. Well, it is true. Now, I kind of wanted to close with this. Now, I found this on the internet, and a few of you might be familiar with this. I know when we had our calc and writing in first year, and we did a project on scientists are generally ugly human beings. And I remember the group who did that, they found the phi map on the internet. Essentially developed by placing a series of, I think it's octagons over each other and creating this map, which is said to objectify beauty. And basically the argument goes, and it's got a lot of credence behind it, I won't go into the sources now, but there's a lot of people backing this up. Just take my word for it. this layer here, and the face that's greater than that, is what's said to be defined as beautiful across culture. Before then, as you all know, there's been all kinds of stereotypes about, beauty is so subjective. But this proves it is not. And here you can see that people who are considered beautiful regardless of ethnicity, gender, race, if their face fits the mask, they are considered beautiful regardless. And this objectifies beauty, and this is built on a mathematical formula. Now, take a look at this artwork that you see at the bottom here. Take a look at the date. I know they're kind of fuzzy, but you get the general idea. These are all famous pieces of artwork. These are things you can see, even touch if you wanted to. But look at the space that happened in between the creation of these pieces of art. They all have one common characteristic. They all fit the mask perfectly. And today, when we look back at the great pieces of art, historical architecture that some of these civilizations left us with today, we can see, and we often step aside and we revel and we say, God, look at how beautiful these things are. And why is it beautiful? Because beauty can be objectified. And this has been proven across the ages as something that is real. And so clearly, artists do have an objective, real conception of what beauty is, and that has been eternal for millennia now. On the other hand, what do scientists have? There's been a lot of, I know our good opponents tried to rebuttal with Aristotle, and okay, Aristotle is a major thinker. I can't deny that. Same with Newton, same with Einstein, all those guys. But what is it at the end of the day? It's a theory. Gravity is no more than a theory, and it's accepted to make our lives just a little bit more sane, even though we have no way of actually physically proving that it's real. It's something to help us get through the day. And probably one of my favorite things, looking over Newton again, a scientist that we have based a lot of what we conceive today to be the physical laws of the universe on. If any of you have ever read his mathematical texts, any of his major publishings, you look through some of his proofs, deductions, all that, and how does he back it up? It's not like mathematicians today where they actually have to show the proofs, they have to work through the formulas, they have to show that this is correct and real. His proofs can be summarized in 2 words. I'm Newton. And people bought into this. So therefore, why should my partner and I have to say any more to you? We are right because we are Harrison and Chris. And if Newton can pass that off, well, goddamn it, so can we. It's just as plausible because we are just as great, if not greater than him. I'm done.
Okay.
Student-Prof debate
Yes.
officially comes to an end.
Thank you to all our debaters. Thank you to everyone who came out. So, as per tradition, at the very end we'll have a classical meter of who the audience thinks who won. But because keeping with new age technology, we'll also have a vote with a video online on SASLab for a poll to see who our science community thinks is the real winner. But now the classical meter. So everyone who thinks by the loudness of the clapping, who thinks the students have won this debate? Now, who thinks the professor has won this debate? Class dismissed.
That's not a very empirical way of determining the winner of the debate.
There'll be a vote online as well.
That would be a more accurate scientific way. Well, I reject that vote on the basis that it's not empirical. Oh wait, I do it.
Damn, I got it.